The first city council meeting is getting started here in Cave City, and this is coming after the termination of former police chief Terrell Riley. We'll know and tell you what's going on coming up.
Those in Washington, D.C. are honoring the lives of fallen officers, including 3 from Kentucky.
And a look at how your driving habits could impact your child.
From WBKO, your hometown news leader. This is 13 News at 5.
The Cave City City Council is meeting for the first time since Police Chief Terrell Riley was terminated from his post. Hello, everyone. I'm Gene Burke.
And I'm Lauren Hansen. 13 News reporter Madison Martin is outside City Hall with the latest on what we know so far.
Right, Gene and Lauren, I'm standing out here of Cave City City Hall, and there's been a lot of people streaming in. I actually just spoke to former police chief Terrell Riley, and as he was walking in, he said this is definitely not the norm as far as how many people are showing up tonight. We've heard that there is different support coming out in the face of the termination of the police chief. And what we found out last week was talking about how Mayor Hatcher tendered him his termination notice, and in that notice it said that Riley was terminated, quote, due to unsatisfactory performance of duties and hindrance of the performance of city functions. So people coming out tonight, there's nothing so much said on the city agenda as far as talking about what has happened here with that change in the police department, or if there's any kind of notice as to if it could change in the future. So that's something that we're going to be checking out here in City Hall when I head back in. But if you can stay tuned to us, I'll be live tweeting as we find out any difference that is going to be happening. But otherwise, keep posted with us, and we'll be reporting on the latest happening on 13 News at 6 and 10 tonight. But for now, reporting live in Cave City, I'm Madison Martin, 13 News.
All right, thanks so much, Madison. And she'll be keeping us updated throughout the meeting. We'll have updates on our website and social media as they become available.
This is National Police Week, and thousands of law enforcement officers will gather in Washington, D.C. to honor those who have died in the line of duty. Last year, 158 officers died, including 3 from Kentucky. Philip Meacham from the Hopkinsville Police Department, Deidre Mengadot from the Louisville Metro Police Department, and Scotty Hamilton from the Pikeville Police Department were all added to the Fallen Officers Memorial. Bowling Green police are familiar with the dangers of the job. One of their own, Officer David Whitson, was shot and killed in 2006.
It's very memorable to us every day that we need to be safe, we need to watch out for each other, but our main job is to protect the public. And so that's really what our focus is. But we do keep in mind, you know, there are officers across the nation, unfortunately, that lose their lives doing this job.
The 31st annual Candlelight Vigil will be held tonight at 8 on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. National Police Week runs Sunday, May 12th through Saturday, May 18th.
A Cave City man is charged with wanton endangerment after shots were fired at an apartment complex. It happened Friday at Glenwood Apartments. Cave City police say Walter Palmowski fired a handgun in the air during a dispute with a neighbor, then fled the scene. He was arrested and taken to the Barron County Jail and has since been released. A teenager was in critical condition after a fatal wreck in Logan County. The Sheriff's Department says Mark McLean of Auburn ran off Cave Springs Road and hit a tree on Sunday. He died at the scene. 19-year-old Ethan Hunter was life-flighted to Nashville and at last word was in critical condition.
Well, much like our Mother's Day Sunday, this day has been filled with clouds and temperatures running about 15 degrees below seasonal averages as a result. There's that cloud cover showing up nicely on the visible satellite imagery with Doppler Max HD, not displaying any rain in the immediate area, and we don't expect that this evening. We are seeing some pockets of clearing off to the northwest up around Evansville and over into parts of Missouri and Arkansas, and eventually that clearing will arrive in Bowling Green, but not until later this evening, probably after sunset in most cases. 60 the temperature here, low 60s for Evansville, only 50s for Lexington, just 55 over in Somerset. And you might want to consider grabbing a jacket or a sweater if you're going to be out the door this evening, especially heading to the Hot Rods game. Temperatures will be in the 50s already in most areas by 7 o'clock, 40s after midnight tonight, on our way down to low to middle 40s by tomorrow morning. But good news, warming starts tomorrow. There's a small chance for rain midweek. Then get ready for some summer-like readings as we head closer to the upcoming weekend. I've got the full forecast for you in just a few minutes. Lauren?
Thanks so much, Shane. Crews are nearing the end of construction on Small House Road. Right now, crews are in phase 2 of construction on Small House Road, which will ultimately widen the road by creating a middle turn lane and bring improvements to the sidewalks. Officials say the concrete work will finish up this week, and then in the next few weeks, expect to see crews striping and paving the road. Construction is scheduled to finish by the 1st of June.
Well, the dumping has become a hindrance. It's an eyesore, and it costs me because I have to do cleanup and I have to eliminate the trash or I get cited from the city.
Tremaine Taylor is the owner of the lot on the corner of Power Street and Boat Landing Road, which has become one of many illegal dumping sites in and around Bowling Green. Due to the excessive illegal dumping on his property, Taylor has installed security cameras, captured video of license plates of the suspects, and filed a report with police. Stan Regan, the coordinator of the Environmental Planning and Assistance for Warren County, says he's seen illegal dumping as a growing problem in the area and continues to apply for illegal dump cleanup grants through the Kentucky Pride Funds. With these grants, the state matches the cleanup cost 75% and the county picks up the other 25%. Regan says there are many alternatives to illegal dumping in Warren County.
You have trash collection in Warren County, as every residence and business is required to have. Those things can go away. It's a whole lot cheaper than having to waste your time loading that junk up and dumping it on somebody's property that you don't have control of.
Regan says he'll be issuing a contract to clean up this dump site and about 8 others in the next 2 weeks when the fiscal court acts on his bids that they opened up. If you get caught dumping illegally, you could get charged up to a $500 fine or be charged with a felony.
A new post office opened in downtown Bowling Green today. The new building at 628 State Street replaces the old post office at 311 11th Street. The new structure has been completely remodeled, complete with new post office boxes, a self-service kiosk, and all the other accommodations the previous post office had.
We were lucky enough to find a location in the downtown area, which was a big concern for our customers. So we're very happy to be in the location and very happy to keep it in the downtown area to serve our customers.
Everyone who had a post office box at the 11th Street location can access their new P.O. box at the new post office building. The official grand opening will be announced at a later date.
This year's St. Jude Dream Home giveaway has kicked off. Your $100 ticket for a chance to win a home goes directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. If you've yet to buy a ticket, a year of gas and groceries is at stake. You have until June 14th to qualify for that early bird prize valued at $4,800. For more details on how you can purchase your ticket, head on over to wbco.com/dreamhome.
Are you good at texting and driving? Probably not. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, in 2017, over 3,000 people died in distracted driving-related accidents. Andy Pilgrim, a professional race car driver and founder of the Traffic Safety Education Foundation, says good driving habits first start with responsible parents.
Parents are the biggest influence on their child's driving. This is something that parents a lot of times don't realize. So what I say to all parent groups, especially the parents of newborns, when you turn that child safety seat around to face front, you have to be aware that the child will pick up on your driving habits and behaviors from that point.
For more information on responsible driving tips, you can watch Brandon Jarrett's complete report tonight on 13 News at 6.
Felicity Huffman pleads guilty for her role in a college admissions cheating scandal. Details in 2 minutes.
You're watching 13 News at 5.
One of the biggest stars caught up in the Varsity Blues college admissions scandal faced a judge today.
As Andrea Fujii reports, actress Felicity Huffman formally entered her guilty plea.
A solemn-looking Felicity Huffman made her way back to a Boston courthouse amid a sea of cameras, holding her brother's hand. Inside, she formally pled guilty for her role in the so-called Varsity Blues college admissions scandal. In exchange for her plea to a single felony count of conspiracy, federal prosecutors agreed to recommend a sentence of 4 months imprisonment, a year of supervised release, and a $20,000 fine. Huffman, the former Desperate Housewives star, is one of 33 parents charged in the bribery scandal. In April, she she signed a plea deal admitting to paying $15,000 to have an SAT proctor correct the answers on her daughter's exam, improving her daughter's score by 400 points. In an earlier statement, Huffman expressed deep regret and shame, writing, "My daughter knew absolutely nothing about my actions. This transgression toward her and the public I will carry for the rest of my life. My desire to help my daughter is no excuse to break the law or engage in dishonesty." Meanwhile, actress Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband Massimo Giannulli are choosing to fight the charges. They're accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters recruited to the USC crew team, despite neither of them participating in the sport.
Felicity Huffman is acting like someone who's just pled guilty. Lori Loughlin is acting like someone who feels like she doesn't belong there. Prosecutors and judges appreciate remorse.
Court documents previewing the potential evidence include emails and wiretapped calls between Loughlin, her husband, and this man, Rick Singer, the alleged mastermind of the scheme, who has since become a cooperating witness.
Why did you decide to plead? And federal prosecutors are suggesting that more charges could be coming for parents, coaches, and even some adult children. Reporting in Boston, I'm Andrea Fujii, ABC News.
Huffman's husband, actor William H. Macy, did not attend today's court proceedings. Huffman's sentencing is set for September 13th.
Weather-wise, things look pretty good for fishing on Tuesday, and the peak time on the fishing game forecast tomorrow will be in the late morning, but it does look good from about mid-morning, 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., a secondary peak later in the afternoon around 5 p.m. during the daylight hours anyway. You can find the fishing game forecast anytime on the website and on the smartphone app. Clearing skies will lead to more sunshine. We'll tell you about it next.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
We might be in the minority, but I'm like you. I like the cooler temperatures.
Yeah, and if you like them, enjoy this, because I think in another week to week and a half, we're going to get warm and humid and maybe stay that way for the remainder of the month of May. The clouds are the reason why it's so cool today. We're going to break up the band tomorrow, and we will see the sunshine return in more abundance after what's been a rather gloomy time of it around here for the better part of the last 3 days. Clouds, very abundant there on Doppler Max. One thing we don't see, though, is any rain beneath these clouds, and we don't expect any for our Monday evening. We will stay dry, and that will remain the case on into our Tuesday. But with the clouds and a northwest wind flow, those temperatures have been running about 15 degrees below seasonal averages again today. Just 60 for Bowling Green, Nashville at 66, only 50s for Lexington. A chilly 53 right now in Jackson, Kentucky. And even to the west, not much warmer for Paducah, 63 degrees. Normally, we're looking at 70s, if not 80s this time of year. But hang in there, folks. It will be warming up beginning tomorrow. There's the look downtown at the Hot Rods. They are warming up here and getting ready to do battle against the South Bend Cubs in a new series of games at home starting at 6:35 tonight. And there is that all too familiar cloud cover, which we've been holding on to for the last 3 days now. For Bowling Green, 60 is the temperature now at the airport. Wind in here from the north at 6, and humidity at 49%. And there is a static view there of the ballpark. Clouds over Munfordville. Few peaks of sun every now and again, and that's been the case for other places today, too. You're at 58 degrees. Russellville 59 with a mostly cloudy sky there in Logan County as well this afternoon. Still high amounts of tree pollen, although not as high as it has been at 7.3. Grass pollen also starting to rear its ugly head now as we head into mid and also late May, and that will take over as the predominant pollen maker for the latter half of the month. The UV index moderate today and will remain so on Tuesday at a 5. And clouds keeping the Ohio Valley cool once again, 40s and 50s for temperatures to the northeast of us. Where's the warmth? Well, it's over the plains right now where temperatures are in the upper 70s to near 80. We've also got a storm system brewing up here with showers and thunderstorms over parts of the Dakotas into the Nebraska Panhandle, also affecting Colorado. That's a warm front, which is going to slide on through here on Wednesday morning and could touch off a few scattered showers and thunderstorms for our area come midweek. But tomorrow looks dry, and it also looks better, too, as we get more sunshine back into play. Low clouds will finally erode across the area tonight, waking up to clearing skies tomorrow morning, but chilly temperatures. The jackets will be needed for the kids as they wait for the buses. And for the adults too, with only low to middle 40s, but we do warm up to near 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon, getting back closer to seasonal norms anyway, under mostly sunny skies. Still dry through Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday morning, you can see some showers and storms making a run at us. That's the arrival of that warm front, and as it moves on in here, could spark off some scattered shower and thunderstorm development, with temperatures still warmer despite more clouds there, back into the middle 70s. We are counting down some big days here. Last day of school for Bowling Green City, just 10 days away. 1 day later for Warren County, that'll be next Friday. And then, of course, Memorial Day, that is 2 weeks from today. How are things shaping up temperature-wise? Well, this is the long-range outlook here per NOAA. This takes in the period May 21st through 27th, and right now, it is skewing above average temperature-wise for a good portion of the eastern United States. This takes you into Memorial Day weekend, giving us some idea of what we can expect down the road. And it also skews below average on rainfall, too. So we'll be watching the trends very carefully as we move toward the holiday weekend next weekend. As for tonight, it will be on the chilly side, lows down the 40s. Clearing skies, especially after midnight, will set us up for more sunshine, a better-looking Tuesday, and a warmer one, too, with a high of 70. And then down to 50 for the low tomorrow night, up to 73 Wednesday. A few scattered thunder showers in there, and then we're dry Thursday. Weak system on Friday could touch off an isolated thunder shower, but look at the temperatures back to the mid and even upper 80s this weekend, staying there into Monday. Lows at night also warming all the way into the 60s for the end of the week and staying there through the weekend. Know the weather before it knows you by downloading the First Alert weather app for your iPhone or Android. Lauren?
Thanks, Shane. A pilot arrested at Louisville International Airport just moments before his flight took off is now facing charges in a triple murder, including 2 who authorities say were found burned beyond recognition in a torched car. It was a stunning twist to a 2015 cold case triple homicide in Kentucky. Christian Martin is a pilot for American Airlines subsidiary PSA Airlines and was arrested over the weekend on an airplane full of passengers just moments before his flight was set to take off.
9 separate counts, 3 counts of murder, 3 counts of tampering with physical evidence, 1 count of arson, 1 count of attempted arson, and 1 count of burglary.
There's no known motive for the murders, but one of the victims was slated to testify in a sexual assault case against Martin, which was scheduled to take place 2 weeks after the murders. Martin is being held without bond.
President Trump not backing down on China, tweeting this morning, China will be hurt very badly if they do not make a deal. And this weekend claiming the U.S. will bring in billions of dollars in tariffs.
As Serena Marshall reports, China responds with their own tariffs, and the Dow opening more than 500 points down.
The 2 largest economies in the world now in a trade war. About an hour after President Trump tweeted directly at Chinese President Xi today that China should not retaliate, will only get worse, they did just that, increasing tariffs of up to 25% on $60 billion of U.S. goods starting June 1st. Trump continuing to defend his decision to increase tariffs from 10 to 25% on $200 billion of Chinese imports Friday over China's unfair trade practices, tweeting the trade war is only going to hurt China and there is no reason for the U.S. consumer to pay the tariffs. But his top economic advisor on Fox News admits that's false.
The president says China it pays the tariffs. They may suffer consequences, but it's U.S. businesses and U.S. consumers who pay, correct?
Yes, to some extent. I don't disagree with that. Again, both sides will suffer on this.
Those consumers suffering through increased prices on items like televisions, cars, batteries, beauty products, even foods like seafood and coffee.
Importers will not absorb the entire cost of an increased tariff levy.
Both sides were close to a deal, but that fell apart Friday. Republicans cautioning the president it's time to get back to the negotiating table.
Because the longer we're involved in a tariff battle or a trade war, the better chance there is that we could actually enter into a recession because of it.
Right now, there are no new talks scheduled, but Presidents Trump and Xi will likely come face to face next month at the G20 summit. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump says he's going to take action to help the nation's farmers in the midst of the escalating trade war with China.
The actress once called America's sweetheart, Doris Day, has died. Day's career in television and films spanned more than 3 decades, and many of the songs she made popular can still be heard today. In the 1950s, Doris Day charmed audiences and her leading men. Her beautiful voice and bubbly personality. Day left Hollywood after the conclusion of her hit TV series, The Doris Day Show. She moved to Carmel, opened an inn, and started a foundation for animals. Doris Day died of complications from pneumonia. She was 97 years old.
Gray skies are going to clear up for Tuesday, and with brighter skies and more sunshine, temperatures will respond by warming back to near 70 tomorrow. And after a chilly start, that will be a nice afternoon. We should go into the 80s by later in the week.
All right, so I guess we should put on a happy face.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see you back here for 13 News at 6.
We are tracking some strong thunderstorms now over western Kentucky, moving in our direction. And out ahead of those storms, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for our westernmost sections. This until 9 o'clock tonight, the yellow shaded counties there. Also, active severe thunderstorm warnings knocking on the door of the viewing area, including one over western Christian County. That one in effect until 5:30. But again, there is that watch outline for you for the counties west of Bowling Green. On Doppler Max, a healthy complex of storms here rolling toward Madisonville. We'll be moving into Hopkinsville shortly. And if it holds its own, could arrive in Bowling Green within the next couple of hours or so. There has been wind on the order of 60 to 65 miles an hour recorded with this line. Lots of lightning and thunder, heavy downpours, and also some hail as well. There's a live look at our AAA Systems live weather cam. Sunshine out there now, but they may not last much longer. With the temperature warm and humid 86 in Bowling Green. We'll be tracking those thunderstorms as they move our way, and we've got more unsettled weather in that forecast as 13 News at 5 starts now.
A church in Elvaton unable to do their yearly fireworks show. Corey McCauley with more later. A local county, one of the first in the area to use the new IDs.
And a bus delivering free lunches to students during the summer in Butler County.
From WBKO, your hometown news leader. This is 13 News at 5.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gene Burke.
And I'm Lauren Hansen. Parts of our western counties are under a severe thunderstorm watch, with more storms moving into the south central area. Now, Shane joins us first with a look at what we can expect for tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Gene and Lauren. We're watching a pretty healthy complex of storms now moving out of the far western part of the state and heading into the Pennyroyal region right now. And if these storms hold their own, they could affect Bowling Green within the next couple of hours. Here's Doppler Max. We've got a couple of cells to the north over Grayson and Breckenridge counties. No warnings with those, but look at that line heading toward Madisonville and draped down toward Trigg County, rolling right across Lake Barkley right now. Lots of lightning within that line, some torrential downpours, but of note, wind gusts here 60 to 65 miles an hour in pockets within that line. You can see that backward C shape there over Trigg County. Storms trying to bow out there, and that's where there's potential for some damaging wind. A severe thunderstorm warning is up for that area of Trigg County, also far western Christian County, this until 5:30, and also severe thunderstorm watch for McLean, Muhlenberg, Todd, Christian, and Hopkins counties, all until 9 o'clock tonight. There is some indication from the Storm Prediction Center that we may see a new watch issued east of the current one that could take Bowling Green in it within the next couple of hours or so. We'll keep you updated on that. As for temperatures, we'll stay in the 80s for the next 2 hours, falling back to the muggy 70s later on tonight. Strong storm threat is what we're tracking for this evening. We finally catch a small break in the unsettled weather, but it will not last as there's more wet weather showing up in that forecast, and that does include the upcoming weekend. We'll examine it in just a few minutes.
Shane, a local tradition is coming to an end. The 4th of July won't be the same for the Elvaton community this year.
Recently, the Elvaton Church of Christ announced they will not be doing their 4th of July fireworks this year. Corey McCauley joins us live with reaction from those in the community.
Lauren, I'm here at the parking lot of the local barbershop here in Alvaton. Those who work here say this is the best vantage point in order to see the 4th of July fireworks that launch just behind me here at the Alvaton Church of Christ. Unfortunately, church leaders say they are no longer going to be able to host community fireworks. I spoke to several community members who told me what it's like to not be able to celebrate this tradition. For 21 years, the Alvaton Church of Christ's 4th of July fireworks have been a staple in the community. And for many families, it is a tradition to watch the fireworks from the parking lot of the local barbershop.
Corvette Museum is humongous as well. I put this right there with it. It's just as big, it's just as good. It draws just a bigger crowd.
Organizers say the fireworks draw a crowd of nearly 1,500 people, and the memories last a lifetime. Unfortunately, the memories are all the community will have left. Church officials say the fire marshal requires a 300-foot radius to launch the fireworks, and new storage units being built next to the church don't allow enough space.
We explored the possibility, and we could have gone down in the level of fireworks, but in the end we decided that people would be disappointed, and we thought 21 years is a long time, and it may be just time to move on.
Though disappointed, those in the Alvaton community understand, and they say they will just have to find a plan B. Officials with the Alvaton Church of Christ say they want to continue to provide some sort of social event for the 4th of July, and they are currently exploring their options. Reporting live in Alvaton, Corey McCauley, 13 News.
Thank you, Corey. After another pushback to beginning to issue real IDs in the Commonwealth, Kentucky has announced Franklin County will be the first to start the pilot program. The full schedule for the rest of the state has not yet been released, but as our Madison Martin reports, another county, one in our area, will be among the first to start issuing these IDs.
It's official. Kentucky's new IDs will be rolled out in pilot programs. So one of those will be right here in Hart County.
I've had a lot of people that live in Hart County come in and say, okay, here it is. I've got my stuff. I'm ready to get my new voluntary travel ID. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have it yet, but don't worry, it's coming.
This week, the Transportation Cabinet announced Franklin County will be the first to see the new IDs starting June 28th. Woodford and then Hart counties will follow. People will have the option to choose between a standard or voluntary travel ID, which is compliant with the federal regulations for flying out of state.
People are used to walking out with their driver's license or their ID in hand. That's no longer how that's going to be. You're going to leave with a piece of paper, and then within 5 to 10 business days, you're going to get your actual credential mailed to you.
Officials have also provided a way for residents whose current ID is about to expire to not have to pay fully for 2 new licenses.
They can come in and they can renew just the same, except if they want the voluntary travel ID, when they do get it in our county or whatever county they're in, they can come back in and they can upgrade for a prorated fee of $15.
The exact date hasn't been set just yet for when they'll start that pilot program, but they say it will happen sometime in July. Reporting in Hart County, I'm Madison Martin, 13 News.
In Ohio County, the sheriff's office arrested a man for sexual abuse of a minor. Officials say Aaron Crow of Hartford will face charges of sodomy and first-degree sexual abuse. The charges come after an investigation that led the sheriff's office to obtain a warrant. That investigation is ongoing, but it's unclear whether Crow will face additional charges.
An Edmonson County woman was arrested Monday after a complaint was received that she had left her toddler children at home alone. An Edmonson County Sheriff's deputy said when he arrived at the home at around 11:30 p.m., he found the front door unlatched, and when he went inside, he saw 3 children under the age of 4 asleep in cribs. The warrior is charged with 3 counts of abandonment of a minor.
Thousands of local kids are taking part in a free summer feeding program. Allison Baker joins us in studio to explain Butler County's Lunchbox Express.
Butler County Schools is taking their free summer lunch program on the go. The Lunchbox Express is serving children from the ages of 2 to 18, making 7 stops along the way, Monday through Friday, starting at the south side of town and ending on the north side. This is the first year the lunch program has gone on wheels to reach children throughout the community.
Last week, which was our second week of doing the Bears Lunchbox Express, we served 1,007 meals from the bus, which was amazing. It far exceeded our expectations.
The Lunchbox Express makes stops at Rochester Park, Richland Church, Morgantown City Park, Huff Ingram, Kent Manor, Good News Center, and Temple Hill Church. The program runs until July 19th. You can find the times for each stop by clicking on this web story on our website, WBKO.com.
Today marks a major milestone for the Boys and Girls Club of Bowling Green. The club hosted the ribbon cutting and grand opening of the Harold and Juanita Kuhn Club Teen Center. The center will provide an after-school experience that empowers teens ages 13 through 18 to find their passion, accomplish their goals, and take control of their future. CEO Liz Barnard has a personal connection to the Boys and Girls Club and this momentous occasion.
Also worked here in this building when I was in college, and so to be the CEO of this organization now and to watch how much we've grown and how many more lives we're impacting, it's really, really special.
The club offers teenagers in Bowling Green a range of programs including diplomas to degrees, smart moves, and career launch. For more information about the Boys and Girls Club of Bowling Green, go to this story on our website, WBKO.com. A Glasgow organization is getting a $2 million loan to construct a new hospice home. The TJ Community Mission Foundation applied for a USDA Rural Economic Development loan and got approved. The purpose of the Shanti Niketan Hospice Home will be to address the community's need for end-of-life care in a home-like setting. The hospice home is set to open in 2020. Still to come on 13 News at 5, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell comments on the slavery reparations, what he says next.
This Friday, it's the Battle of the Badges in Glasgow. The Guns and Hoses blood drive will take place from 10 to 3 at the Glasgow First United Methodist Church. You can donate in honor of your favorite agency, Glasgow Police or Glasgow Fire. Donors will get lunch and a free t-shirt.
We've, tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation. We've elected an African-American president.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's against the idea of paying reparations for slavery. A House committee held a hearing on that issue today, but McConnell says people alive today should not be paying compensation for something that happened 150 years ago.
Spend all day commenting on the inappropriate things that come out of the Grim Reaper's mouths.
McConnell also says it would be hard to figure out who should receive compensation.
Western Kentucky University's president, Dr. Timothy Caboni, announced today that WKU received special recognition by the Council for Advancement and Support of Education, or CASE, for persistent fundraising success. WKU is awarded the 2019 CASE Educational Fundraising Award. It's an honor given each year to exceptional fundraising programs at educational institutions in the U.S.
The rain gear may be needed once again for fishing tomorrow, especially in the morning. Otherwise, astronomically, the peak time very close to sunrise around 5 a.m. and still good to about 6:30. Secondary peak at about 5 o'clock. Tomorrow evening. It'll be a breezy day as well, kind of choppy on the lakes. Fishing game forecast available anytime on the website and on the smartphone app. We're tracking a line of storms on the march toward the viewing area next.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
So far today, we've had some scattered showers and thunderstorms dotting the map, but we are concerned about this cluster of thunderstorms now rolling toward Madisonville and Hopkinsville on Doppler Max. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning with this one taking in the city of Hopkinsville. That is up now until 6 o'clock. Closer view showing you the storms kind of bowing out here around Madisonville. A sure sign that they are packing some wind. In fact, we had a wind gust to 64 miles an hour recorded in Murray when the storms came through there about an hour or so ago. And now the storms are taking aim at Crofton and Hopkinsville. And you can see how the storms are also bowing out there in Trigg County. And that will be rolling into Christian County along with Todd County within the next half hour or so. Bowling Green, if the storms hold their own, they could arrive here just a little after 6 to 6:30 in that time frame based on their movement, which is generally to the east-northeast. So if you live here around the city, just a heads up for later on as we get closer to sunset, as we could be dealing with those storms here as well. As it stands, severe thunderstorm watch, it's up for the counties in yellow. That would be McLean, Muhlenberg, Todd, Christian, and Hopkins until 9 o'clock. There's been some indication by the Storm Prediction Center that we may see a new watch issued farther to the east that could take in Bowling Green for later this evening. That has not happened yet, but it could, so we'll watch that. Otherwise, the severe thunderstorm warning, the newest one now for much of Christian County, taking in Hopkinsville. That's until the top of the hour at 6. And until the bottom of the hour, severe thunderstorm warning for western Christian County as well as Trigg County until 5:30. Severe risk, it's there in the yellow, a slight risk for much of western and central Kentucky. That still stands through this evening. And the main threats here with any severe thunderstorms would be with damaging winds, also some marginal hail. The tornado threat looking very small at this juncture, but heavy rain, that's a concern too. Part of the state under a flash flood watch, especially northern and eastern sections. This front that's over Missouri right now will finally sweep through here tomorrow morning and will put an end to the storms, at least for about a day to a day and a half anyway, before more unsettled weather arrives this upcoming weekend. And the storms over to the west, we're keeping an eye on them now. Over the station, some hazy sunshine. There's a live weather cam view from AAA Systems. It's warm and it's humid with 86, the temperature at the airport. Southwest breeze in here at 13. It feels like 90 right now with the humidity so high at 57%. Here is Future Max in motion. Again, the best chance for storms after 6 to 6:30 for Bowling Green along the I-65 corridor. And again, some of those storms could be severe as they cross the area. They will propagate east of Bowling Green later on tonight. By that point, instability will be going down. Therefore, the storm threat should be diminishing as we get closer to midnight. However, tomorrow morning with the passage of that front, more showers and thunderstorms are possible there. By tomorrow afternoon, we should see things begin to dry out as more northwesterly wind flow takes over, at least for a time, and that takes temperatures down into the lower 60s. A little more comfortable for Friday morning as less humid air settles in here, at least for a while, but it does turn warmer and more humid as we go back to near 90 Friday afternoon. And notice by Friday night, we could be dealing with another round of showers and thunderstorms. Heavy rainfall, that's a concern, especially this evening with the NAM really throwing it down here, 1 to 2 inches worth across much of the area. Watch out for localized flooding. Gusty winds, also a concern with the passage of that front. Tomorrow we may see the winds gust on the order of 30 to 35 miles an hour, with those gusts still in here in the 20-mile-an-hour range by tomorrow evening. So wind versus trash cans, yeah, they could be knocked over on Thursday, so secure those items. Tonight slows down into the lower 70s. Chance for showers and thunderstorms quite high through the evening, a few which could be severe. And then thunderstorms diminish by tomorrow afternoon with a high of 82. Low temperature down to 63 tomorrow night. We'll go to 89 on Friday with sunshine there. Up to 90 for the weekend, and with plenty of humidity, we could be dealing with heat indices closing in on 100 degrees both Saturday and again Sunday. The only thing that might cool us off there would be some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and that chance for rain, Gina and Lauren, remains quite high as we go to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
Well, thankfully, the only time I've seen tornadoes has been on TV.
That's right, but have you ever paid attention to the direction that it's spinning? Now, Shane, I'm going to be honest, I haven't.
And I haven't either.
And that makes sense because usually they spin counterclockwise, at least here in the northern hemisphere, and that's about 99% of the time. But one in South Dakota, this one went against the grain. It spun clockwise, which you only see maybe 1% of the time. That's very rare. No injuries associated with this one. It was a relatively weak tornado at an EF0, but nonetheless, a clockwise spinner, a backward spinner, not something you see here in the United States very often. Again, that was in South Dakota earlier this week. Quite an unusual occurrence there for sure.
Yeah, and definitely fast. They said it lasted for only about 45 seconds on June 15th and had an estimated peak winds of 75 miles per hour, and the path was 1/10 of a mile long and only caused minor damage, luckily.
President Trump officially kicking off his 2020 re-election bid with a major rally in Orlando, Florida, in front of thousands of supporters donning his signature red hat. Trump making his case for a second term by rehashing his 2016 campaign, taking aim at Hillary Clinton, the news media, and the political establishment. Trump telling his crowd of supporters he will not let them down as he touted a list of his accomplishments.
Envy of the world. Perhaps the greatest economy we've had in the history of our country.
Senator Bernie Sanders quickly fired back, calling the speech lies, distortion, and total absolute nonsense.
Amazon is expanding plans to deliver more packages. The online retailer announced it will lease an additional 15 cargo planes from GE Capital Aviation Services. The deal was announced at the Paris Air Show yesterday. It's part of an effort by Amazon to handle more packages on its own. The company is also buying vans so more deliveries can be made by independent contractors rather than providers like the Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx.
Today, members of Congress heard from several pilots critical of Boeing and the Federal Aviation Administration over their handling of safety issues involving the Boeing 737 MAX airplane. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Washington with what they had to say.
Being vocal.
Harsh words for aviation officials Wednesday at a hearing for the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Retired pilot Chesley Sully Sullenberger, who safely landed a passenger plane in what became known as the Miracle on the Hudson, criticized Boeing for not communicating to pilots the existence of the anti-stall system prior to the first of 2 plane crashes that killed 346 people.
Our current system of aircraft design and certification has failed us. These accidents should never have happened.
Sullenberger says criticism of the pilots in those crashes is unfair. Having recreated both crash situations in flight simulators, he says that he can see how crews would run out of time before solving the problems caused by the plane's software.
I can tell you firsthand that the startle factor is real, and it's huge. It absolutely interferes with one's ability to quickly analyze the crisis and take effective action.
Sullenberger says moving forward, all 737 MAX pilots should train for the aircraft in a simulator before flying with passengers. Captain Dan Carey of the Allied Pilots Association said Wednesday Boeing had invited 2 pilots to work in a simulator earlier this month, but later rescinded the invitation.
It's curious to me, while Boeing is working on this fix, they don't want the people who fly it to actually see it.
This hearing comes 2 days after Boeing executives apologized to airlines and to families of the victims of these crashes. The company now trying to win back the trust of pilots, regulators, and the global traveling public. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Washington.
Apple customers will no longer have to search for an Apple store to get their products fixed. They can now just go to their nearest Best Buy. The tech retailer announced it is expanding its partnership with Apple. As part of their agreement, Best Buy brick-and-mortar stores will now offer repairs on iPhones and MacBooks. The program now expands to its nearly 1,000 stores across the U.S.
Walt Disney World Resort has significantly increased the cost of its annual park passes. The Disney Platinum and Platinum Plus pass increased by $225. The Premier Passport increased by $150. The move comes ahead of the August 29th opening of the new Star Wars land at Disney's Hollywood Studios Park in Orlando. Platinum, Platinum Plus, and Premier annual pass holders will get early access to the attraction.
Just in time for the official start of summer, Dairy Queen is giving you a sweet treat for free. Well, sort of. All this Friday, the fast food chain is offering free cones to celebrate the summer solstice. To get in on the deal, simply download the free Dairy Queen mobile app. From there, you'll get a single-use mobile coupon. The coupon allows customers to choose from an orange dreamsicle-dipped cone, a chocolate-dipped cone, or the regular vanilla cones. There's one catch, though. The offer is only valid if combined with a purchase. Shane has a couple of warnings to tell you about.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm warnings for Christian County, the one on the western end of the county about to come down, but for Hopkinsville, still a warning there until 6, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more warnings east of where that line is right now, which, by the way, is pressing towards Central City, Powderly, Greenville, Hopkinsville at this time. That will be rolling into Elkton within the next half hour. And if it holds its own, could affect Bowling Green at about 6:30 to 6:45. That's an estimated time of arrival for that main line of storms that will be heading east. And want to say hello to these kids over in Columbia, the Dare County Primary First Alert Weather class. Sometimes it never takes a summer break, and had a fun time out there with the kiddos talking weather and severe weather, along with severe weather safety earlier today. My thanks to Paula Garrison for inviting me out there to Columbia.
All right, looks like a good group out there.
Yes, they were.
That's it for us. Let us know what's going on in your hometown by going to our website and clicking Submit a Story. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.